Hi Virgo, so this is going to be your mid-June reading until the end of the month. So just this short period I'm going to try my best to stick to. And this month I'm going to do something different. I'm kind of just going to give messages without cards. So if you like this style, I'm always trying to keep it interesting for myself, hopefully for you guys too. But after a while reading cards, you don't even need the cards. That's kind of how guides and whatever communicate with you. So let's do it this way. Let's see what comes through. Immediately before I even turn this video on, what I feel for you guys is like enough with the BS, enough with I feel like you guys are seeing things very clearly. And it feels like whatever you were going through, it was a necessity to kind of get to this level where you can kind of, I feel like, see through people. I feel deeply intuitive energy, and I feel like all the earth signs in general, I want to say feeling very close. So if you have earth sign friends, reach out to them. I feel like going through similar things, especially as we get ready to go into this Cancer, watery, emotional, digging up stuff, especially with Mercury retrograde happening next month. This Cancer total eclipse happening in the beginning of July. This is full moon happening the 17th of this month. Lots of it feels like I'm seeing polar opposites of a magnet, trying to figure things out. I'm trying to work things out. I'm trying to make things fit. And it feels like at a certain point you just kind of have to put the magnets down. They flip themselves over and they connect. It's just like release it feels like pushing forward with strength or with your mind. Now's the time for the determination of, the heart space. So that's a little bit more tricky. I find that actually harder because it's the opposite energy. We kind of have to surrender, step back, release, allow. That's kind of hard, I feel, especially with your energy right now. So I feel like that's the challenge, and to actually speak very clearly. So if something comes along your path, like an offer or a way to go about things or a belief system, I don't know what I'm picking up here, but it feels like there's a need to kind of absorb it, take it in. Okay, what is this thought, or what is this being presented to me? Does this work for me? Is it in complete alignment with what I need, my wants, my desires? And if it's not, it feels like you're being challenged to be like, that's not what I want. Why am I settling? Or, that's not how I want things to be. So it feels like, by being very honest and clear with yourself first, but then actually verbalizing it with others is the best way to kind of navigate through this next month, because with the eclipse, it feels like there's an inevitable removal of something. Let it be known, though, that it's no longer useful for you. So if you can't make the decision for yourself, it feels like it's being taken from you. So notice that. I feel the Tower card. So the Tower card, it becomes inevitable when we don't make the correct actions in alignment with our heart for ourselves, and the universe kind of comes in and is like, that's not for you. And it can feel very shaking. And I feel like that's actually the purpose of it, to shake up your energy. When I was studying, specifically in Ecuador with shamans, kind of the northern consciousness of shamanism, they actually would, take somebody with, severe trauma or an addiction, and they would literally blow fire on their back to shake up the aura, to cleanse it. Fire is very transformative. You see this with people that maybe they have like a NDE or like a car crash, and all of a sudden their life changes. It's because they were shaken up. So it feels like there's been some sort of shakeup, some wake up, to actually give you what you want. I'm not saying projecting anything those things would happen. It feels like anything that comes in, it doesn't feel very detrimental. It feels actually very necessary. So take that. It feels like it clears a path for you to manifest what's in your highest good, and it feels like it's better than you could have imagined. So if you've been settling for less than work, relationship, whatever it might be, it feels like you're going to kind of step into the tools necessary to foster positive growth. So I'm not saying if you're in a relationship there's a breakup, but it feels like there's some sort of shakeup to actually restabilize it in a stable way. Because I feel ultimately what you guys, especially if you're single or in a space where you're feeling maybe ungrounded within the relationship, there's a want to actually have a firm, like I feel home life. So I don't know if some of you are mothers or just if you're fathers, it feels like a refocus on the home life. That's what I feel. And it feels like in the past, even kind of currently now, it feels like you've been offered kind of illusionary cups. So what do I mean by that? I mean, it's like, do you want this? Is this what's most important to you? Do you want this? Is this what's most important to you? And it feels like what these are things are teaching you, because I feel like you've been offered cups, made offers of things that aren't for your highest good. And I feel like deep down you probably know that. It feels like just a test. And even if you said yes to some of these things temporarily, don't like beat yourself up. It feels like there was a necessary, like it feels very karmic, like a lesson that needed to be learned. You were directed in this path and you had to go that way, regardless of anything else. To kind of acknowledge it and release it. Oh, that's not for me. I was willing to compromise something that was truly part of my values or something like that. I feel also for a lot of you, and I feel this with a lot of the earth signs, I feel, again, this close energetic kind of shifting through the summer with you guys. And it feels like right now in Cancer season, so if I'm specifically talking about this reading, feels like there's a healing and acknowledgement of the feels. So if you're feeling particularly like this season is kind of getting tricky, reach out to somebody, any friend, but I particularly feel earth sign friends. I'm being brought to work too. It's putting me really far forward, like 2020. I don't know if some of you guys want to work for yourself, but it feels like there's more development on that kind of front. I feel like you guys are being really drawn to listen to your feelings. So having like the determination to only say yes to things that are like that huge, loud yes to you, and the things that are like, maybe that would work, maybe I'd like to do that, that you're realizing that's a no. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, I don't really post much about tarot. It's more about my travels, because you guys know I don't live anywhere, I just travel. But I had this message and I made a post about it, and it was, if it's not a loud yes, it's a no. It's a no. Why would you be settling for that not allowed yes? That's part of where I feel like the lack comes in, and that we're moving through that, because it feels like you guys are kind of stepping up to kind of get to this point. I feel like you guys are continually striving, and what it feels like is to ultimately be free and to get to the point where you never have to say no to anything that doesn't feel true. You don't feel like, maybe this person won't like me, or maybe it won't work out if I don't say yes. Maybe there's not another opportunity. Like, I feel like really coming into power. And it feels like this month, this end of the month, we're kind of releasing and letting stuff go and having really great realizations. So it's like a necessary part, looking at all of the things that even looking to like past relationships or past jobs. Like, I can't believe I did that, or, I can't believe I stayed there so long. Once I left, everything fell into place and I got to having this experience or that experience. So I see you guys really this month really forward looking, kind of turning your back to the past essentially. Because these are all things you can kind of check off. I don't have to go back there. I don't have to repeat that. So whatever's come into you recently to kind of test that or bring up, drudge up feelings, or maybe that's going on right now, especially with Cancer season around the corner, and Gemini with like that illusionary energy. What's real, what's not real. I like all the earth signs this month because you're the last earth sign I'm doing. I feel strongly pointed to August, September, October. Something here happens, develops. I feel strong relationship energy. But I also just feel like a lot of growth this summer. So do the things you want to do. I feel that energy of, lifting yourself up if you're, especially if you're feeling the feels, go out and exercise, make it regular though, get into nature, reconnect, especially if you're feeling ungrounded with the watery, emotional upheaval that I feel Cancer is bringing. I feel like there's a tendency to want to internalize it. I also feel like it's actually positive to kind of listen to that and retreat when you need, but I feel like there needs to be a conscious effort to kind of get out in nature, do things you enjoy, and like reconnect to people, like inspirational people. So maybe an adventure even. It's like something to spark that this is what I want to be doing more often. So whatever you want to be doing more often, make a conscious effort to do it this summer. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, this winter. I mean, this season, whatever season we're in, or going into. So let me pull one more card while I'm here. Please give me one last card for Virgo. Please give me one last card for Virgo. Please give me one last card that would be helpful for Virgo to hear. Please give me one last card for Virgo. Five of fire and stress. Okay, the bottom of the deck is the medicine wheel. This is the change for better luck or fortune right now. This is what I was feeling for all the earth signs. I didn't mention this in your reading yet, but it's like that, it's the inner pressure of change. So it's like we're releasing all of these things that maybe were illusions or didn't work or didn't want to work, and we're kind of realizing our greatness, our inner strength. And it feels like this pressure, it's almost like birth or birthing a star or birthing a human. This uncomfortable energy, and it feels like, even feeling with like the full moon on the 17th, it's like, I live in Mexico, there's tons of stray dogs, they're all going crazy and howling. This month I haven't been able to, this past week I haven't even been able to sleep. It feels very potent, it feels very uncomfortable. So let me actually read this. Stress. I can find it. Stress, power trips, agitation, competitiveness. The inner message: when an onslaught of some kind has thrown you off balance, turn your attention to what goes on inside. Emotional stress and the pressure you feel coming from the outside are actually manifestations of the quarrel that takes place inside you when dueling values and beliefs clash. Life reflects what goes on inside you at any given time. If daily life causes too much stress and anxiety, stop and take a moment to find yourself again. Fighting will only cost you more energy. Remember, there's a private room inside filled with peace and calm. This sanctuary always remains open to you. Less internet, I feel, more connection with nature, more connection with the heart space. If presented with a situation like, is this a loud yes to me again? Is this a loud yes? Do I want to even if it's in the most mundane of things, the power for me, it's not this huge, thunder, clash, boom, bang, and we have this moment where we can, choose good over evil. It's not those kind of changes. I find, the most persistent, it's like adding layers of power, of change, are in the small, mundane things in life. Even with food, is this adding to my the beauty of my body? Is this food, or is this food going to kind of hold me down, weigh me down? Is this conversation with this person, is it adding value? Is this date, is it adding value? Do I want to go on it again, or am I just saying yes because they asked me again and I have nothing else to do? It's like being really in line with what your heart's saying, and sometimes I feel like that's a struggle for all of us. So, big opening coming for you guys. It feels like in regards to something you want to do. I don't know if it's actually adventure, but at the very least, get out more in nature. Maybe go camping, enjoy your family. It feels like there's an opening coming. For some reason, I don't feel this end of month. I mean, we're only talking about 15 days, but it feels like, if something's coming in and feels like it's not working, just have the eyes to see why. Was it in my best interest? And I feel like a lot of the time, especially this next few days, especially with this eclipse, it's going to be a no. And you're going to look back in like a month or two and be like, oh, such beautiful opportunity. I'm so glad that happened, because if that hadn't happened, in that uncomfortable moment, I don't think I would have made the change myself, or I would have stuck to something or somebody for the wrong reasons. So, anyways, if you guys enjoyed this style of reading, just let me know. Otherwise, definitely subscribe. I'll be back in a week with a love reading, and then for July, it's almost July. Anyways, bye guys.